Chapter 1. The Boy Who Refused to Quit. Long before anyone had heard the word Walmart, before the billions and the fame, there was just a skinny kid named Sam Walton, growing up in a forgotten corner of Kingfisher, Oklahoma. No silver spoon, no wealthy parents, just dust, hard work, and a dream that refused to die. It was the time of the Great Depression, a period when America itself was fighting to survive. Families lost homes, jobs, and hope. Sam's father, Thomas Walton, traveled from town to town as a farm loan appraiser, while his mother, Nancy Lee, held the family together with warmth, strength, and an iron belief in education. They moved constantly, chasing stability that never came. But those restless years forged Sam's character, discipline, adaptability, and a hunger to make life better. As a boy, Sam was allergic to laziness. He woke up before sunrise to milk the family cow, sold bottles of milk door to door, and still managed to deliver newspapers before school. When other kids were sleeping, he was earning. When others complained, he worked. That attitude didn't make him rich, but it made him unstoppable. By the time he was a teenager, Sam was already showing the grit that would define his life. He joined the Boy Scouts, became the youngest Eagle Scout in his state, and played every sport he could: football, basketball, baseball. Not because he was naturally gifted, but because he hated to give up. He stayed late, practiced longer, and always gave 110%. He wasn't chasing trophies, he was chasing growth. When high school ended, money was tight. College seemed like an impossible dream. But Sam found a way, taking small jobs, waiting tables, doing whatever it took to pay for tuition. He enrolled at the University of Missouri, studying economics, and treated time like gold. Every hour had a purpose. By age 22, diploma in hand, Sam stepped into a world at war. World War II was raging, and like millions of young Americans, he joined the U.S. Army Intelligence Corps. There, he learned something no textbook could teach: attention to detail saves lives. He studied logistics, planning, and discipline, lessons that would later become the backbone of his empire. When the war finally ended, Sam returned home with a clear mission: to build something meaningful. Around that time, he met Helen Robson, a sharp-minded, fearless woman who would become not just his wife, but his partner in destiny. Helen wasn't interested in small dreams. She told him bluntly, "If we're going to spend our lives working, let's build something that matters." With her faith and his determination, Sam took his first real leap. Armed with $5,000 of savings and a $20,000 loan from his father-in-law, he bought a small Ben Franklin variety store in Newport, Arkansas. No business background, no investors, just passion and a promise to serve customers better than anyone else. He swept the floors himself, greeted every visitor by name, and spent his nights studying his competitors' stores like a detective: how they priced, how they displayed, what customers loved or ignored. Where others chased profit, Sam chased trust. While store owners raised prices to squeeze out a few more cents, he cut them lower, believing that if you save people money, they'll come back again and again. People called him crazy. He called it common sense, and it worked. Business boomed. Customers loved him. But just when success seemed secure, disaster struck. Sam didn't own the building. His lease expired after 5 years. The landlord, seeing how profitable the store had become, refused to renew and gave it to his own son. Overnight, Sam lost everything: store, customers, reputation, all gone. He could have quit. Most people would have. But Sam didn't. He packed his pickup truck, held Helen's hand, and drove to a quiet town no one cared about, Bentonville, Arkansas. There, with nothing left but his brain, grit, and belief in people, he started again. That small store he opened in 1950 would one day carry a new name: Walmart. Chapter 2: The Spark That Started a Revolution. Bentonville, Arkansas, a quiet town with one main street, a few diners, a handful of teachers, and more dreams than money. To most people, it was a place you drove through on your way somewhere else. But to Sam Walton, it was a blank canvas. He and Helen unpacked their few belongings, rented a modest storefront, and opened a small shop called Walton's 5 and 10. No flashing signs, no investors, just shelves filled with socks, toys, candy, and cleaning supplies. And a man behind the counter who treated every stranger like family. Sam's dream wasn't about building the biggest store in town. It was about building the best relationship in town. From day one, he created a philosophy that would later shake the world of business. He didn't call it a system back then, but it was. A way of thinking, a way of living, a way of serving. Here's what he believed: serve customers like their family. Don't just say hello. Walk with them, carry their bags, listen to what they love and what they hate, fix problems, earn trust. The customer, Sam would say, isn't part of our success. They are our success. Buy cheap, sell cheaper. While other store owners marked up prices to earn more profit, Sam did the opposite. He sold at razor-thin margins, believing that selling more for less would create loyalty no competitor could match. He once said, "If we lower prices by just 1 cent and sell 1 million units, that's $10,000 saved by our customers. They'll never forget that." Never stop learning. Every week, Sam would jump into his pickup truck and drive hundreds of miles to visit rival stores. He'd take notes on prices, layouts, colors, customer behavior, 10 pages a day, sometimes more. He didn't believe in pride. He believed in progress. If someone does it better, he'd say, learn it, then do it even better. This obsession with understanding people, not products, was the secret ingredient that set Sam apart. He wasn't just selling things. He was studying human nature. And it worked. The little store in Bentonville started thriving. People from nearby towns began driving miles just to shop there. They didn't come for fancy advertising. They came because Sam made them feel seen, respected, and valued. By the late 1950s, Sam and Helen had opened several small stores, all of them successful. But there was a question that wouldn't leave Sam's mind. Why are all the big retailers ignoring small-town America? He'd seen it for years. The big chains only built in cities, where the money was. Meanwhile, rural families, millions of them, were forced to pay higher prices for fewer choices. To Sam, that wasn't fair. It wasn't smart either. So he had a crazy idea. What if, he thought, we build a large discount store in a small town, full of variety, full of value, and make everything cheaper than anywhere else? Investors laughed. Bankers said no. People in small towns don't buy much, they told him. But Sam didn't need their approval. He needed only belief, and he already had that. In 1962, in Rogers, Arkansas, he opened the first Walmart Discount City, a 15,000-square-foot store that looked ordinary from the outside, but carried a radical promise inside: save money, live better. There were no digital screens, no fancy promotions, no luxury aisles, just shelves stacked with honest products at prices that made people blink. At first, the locals were curious, Some laughed, but then they stepped inside. They saw the prices, they saw the variety, they saw the smiles behind the counter. And they came back, again and again, bringing neighbors, friends, and entire families. Sales soared. Word spread. A movement began. But here's what made it magical. It wasn't built by suits or skyscrapers. It was built by family. Helen was there from day one, helping choose locations and guiding big decisions. His brother, Bud Walton, joined the business soon after. And soon their children were helping too. Walmart wasn't a corporation, it was a mission. Sam treated his employees like partners, not workers. He introduced profit sharing, giving managers and staff ownership in the stores they helped grow. When the business won, everyone won. It wasn't just smart management, it was revolutionary leadership. By the end of the 1960s, Walmart had 18 thriving stores, and the model was spreading like wildfire. Clean aisles, friendly staff, organized shelves, low prices. Every new store carried not just products, but a culture. And through it all, Sam stayed the same. He drove his old pickup. He pinched every penny. He flew economy and split hotel rooms. When people called him cheap, he smiled. No, he'd say, I'm efficient. He often repeated one line that became his legacy. The moment you think you're too big to learn, that's the moment you start shrinking. And with that mindset, Walmart wasn't just growing. It was preparing to change the world. Chapter 3. Building the machine that changed everything. By the early 1970s, Walmart wasn't just a clever business anymore. It was a storm gathering speed. 18 stores across small-town America, all buzzing with customers, all running on the same simple promise: low prices, great service, real care. But Sam Walton wasn't satisfied. He'd never been. Most businessmen open a few stores and think, we've made it. Sam looked at his growing map of stores and asked a different question. How can we open hundreds more, faster, smarter, cheaper, without losing what makes us special? That question would change retail forever. The birth of a system. Sam realized something most entrepreneurs never do. You don't build empires by opening stores. You build empires by building systems that make stores run better than people ever could. So while other companies were wasting money on advertising, Sam was studying logistics, distribution, and data. He wanted to make sure every product, from a toothbrush to a TV, could travel from supplier to shelf with military precision, faster, cheaper, and cleaner than anyone else. And so, in 1971, Walmart built its first distribution center in Bentonville, Arkansas, the same small town where everything began. But this wasn't just a warehouse, it was a command center. Inside, goods from all over the country arrived, were sorted, tracked, and shipped out to stores across multiple states, all under Walmart's control. No middlemen, no wasted time, no unnecessary costs. Sam called it control the process, control the price. If Walmart wanted to keep prices low, it had to own the path from supplier to shelf. And it worked. Walmart trucks began to roll across highways day and night, white, blue, and bold, carrying not just products, but a new kind of American dream, technology before its time. Most people don't know this, but Walmart was one of the first companies in America to use satellite communication, back in the 1970s, when even major banks didn't have real-time data. Sam ordered satellite dishes to be installed on store rooftops and distribution centers. Why? So that the moment a customer bought an item in Texas, headquarters in Arkansas would know instantly. That meant shelves could be restocked before they went empty, prices could be adjusted overnight, and managers could make decisions based on real numbers, not guesses. In an era before the internet, Walmart became a living, breathing network. Sam had turned small-town stores into a futuristic operation. He often said, "Retail is detail, and we'll know every detail, every hour, every day." That obsession with precision became Walmart's secret weapon. Going public, staying humble. In 1972, Walmart had about 50 stores, still small by today's standards, but growing fast. Sam made another bold move. He took the company public. That meant selling Walmart stock on the market to raise money, not for luxury, but for expansion. The plan worked. The company brought in millions, which Sam used to build new distribution centers, train employees, and expand into new states. Walmart stock soared. Sam became a millionaire on paper. But his life didn't change. He still drove his beat-up Ford pickup, wore the same plain clothes, and ate breakfast at the local diner. He refused luxury not out of modesty, but out of principle. Every dollar we save is a dollar we can pass on to the customer. That was his religion. The supercenter revolution. By the late 1970s, Sam noticed something new. People were tired of driving from store to store, one for food, another for clothes, another for medicine. So he asked a simple revolutionary question. Why not put everything under one roof? In the early 1980s, Walmart launched its first supercenter, a massive store where families could buy groceries, electronics, garden tools, toys, clothes, and even fill up their gas tanks, all in one trip. It wasn't just convenience, it was freedom. Walmart had turned shopping into an experience, simple, fast, affordable, and almost addictive. Families stopped going to 5 stores. They went to Walmart, and nowhere else. The people behind the power. Sam knew that the heart of Walmart wasn't in the buildings, trucks, or systems. It was in the people. He refused to call them employees. He called them associates, and he meant it. He gave them a chance to own a piece of the company through the employee stock purchase plan. Even the janitors could buy shares and become part owners. It was more than a business strategy. It was empowerment. Sam spent weekends visiting stores, shaking hands, talking to cashiers, asking questions, listening to complaints. He believed the best ideas didn't come from executives. They came from the front lines. The guy who stacks the shelves knows more than the guy in the office, he'd say. By the mid-1980s, Walmart had exploded to hundreds of stores, billions in revenue, and tens of thousands of associates. But Sam was still the same man who once milked cows before sunrise, still humble, still hungry. The critics and the calm. As Walmart grew, so did the noise. Critics claimed it was crushing small businesses, underpaying workers, and taking over small towns. And while some accusations had truth, Sam didn't waste time arguing. He let his actions speak. He improved employee programs, expanded ownership plans, and doubled down on community service. While others shouted, "Walmart built." He believed that if you serve honestly, time will defend you better than any press release. By 1985, Walmart was an unstoppable force. Forbes magazine named Sam Walton the richest man in America, worth billions. But if you'd walked into a Walmart store that year, you might have seen a man in a baseball cap, scribbling notes in a worn-out notebook, asking customers how they felt about the prices. That was Sam. Rich in money, richer in purpose. The moment you think you've made it, he said, you've already started to fall. And with that mindset, Walmart marched into the next decade, not just as a company, but as a revolution. Chapter 4. Beyond the Founder. The world learns the Walton way. By the mid-1980s, Walmart had become something America couldn't ignore. What began as one small-town store was now a nationwide phenomenon. Hundreds of stores, billions in revenue, and millions of loyal shoppers who refused to buy anywhere else. Walmart wasn't just growing. It was rewriting the rules of capitalism. But with every empire comes resistance. The press called Walmart too powerful. Unions accused it of paying low wages. Small business owners said, "Walmart is killing Main Street." And for the first time, the simple dream that had inspired millions was being questioned. Sam listened. He didn't shout back. He didn't hide behind lawyers or publicists. He just kept doing what he had always done best: visit stores, talk to people, and take notes. Because to him, criticism wasn't a crisis. It was feedback. If people are talking about you, he'd say, that means you matter. Just make sure they're wrong for the right reasons. The expansion nobody believed in. While the critics debated, Sam kept building. By 1984, Walmart's annual sales had crossed $8.4 billion, and it was only getting started. But Sam's eyes were already looking beyond America's borders. If Walmart could serve small-town America, why not serve the world? In 1991, Walmart opened its first store in Mexico, partnering with local businesses and suppliers to adapt to cultural differences. People said it would fail. Retail is local, they warned. But Sam knew better. He understood something universal. No matter where you live, saving money feels the same. The Mexican expansion succeeded, paving the way for Walmart to enter Canada, Brazil, China, the United Kingdom, Chile, Argentina, India, and more. Each country got its own flavor of Walmart. Same mission, different culture. "We don't go to change people," Sam said. "We go to learn from them." The final years of a relentless dreamer. By the early 1990s, Walmart had grown so big, it was practically a nation within a nation. Sam Walton was hailed as a business legend, the man who built the world's largest store from a pickup truck. But privately, he was fighting a battle no amount of success could win. In 1990, doctors diagnosed him with multiple myeloma, a type of bone cancer. It was aggressive, painful, terminal. Sam could have retired, disappeared, enjoyed his billions. But that wasn't in his DNA. Even as his body weakened, he kept visiting stores, shaking hands, asking questions, scribbling notes. He said, "I don't know how much time I've got left, but I know what I'm here to do, and I'm not done yet." He wrote his autobiography, Made in America, My Story. It wasn't a book of business secrets. It was a love letter to his employees, his customers, and the ordinary people who had believed in him. The message was simple: stay humble, respect people, never stop learning. And remember, it's not about money, it's about meaning. The final honor. In March 1992, the White House called. President George H.W. Bush wanted to give Sam Walton the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. At the ceremony, Sam was frail, sitting in a wheelchair. His voice was weak, but his heart was still loud. He held the medal, smiled at his associates and family, and said, "If we work together, we can give the world the chance to live better, every single day." The room erupted in applause. It wasn't for a billionaire. It was for a man who never stopped serving. The day America stopped. 1 month later, on April 5, 1992, Sam Walton passed away in Little Rock, Arkansas. He was 74 years old. That day, stores across the country went silent. Flags were lowered. Employees wept. Customers left handwritten notes at Walmart entrances, messages of gratitude from people he'd never met. He wasn't just the richest man in America. He was the man who made America believe in service over status. He changed how we live, one employee said. He changed how we shop. He changed how we think about success. The giant that refused to fall. But what happened next was the real miracle. When most great founders die, their companies stumble, their vision fades, their empire collapses under the weight of ego and chaos. Not Walmart, because Sam had built something more powerful than himself. A system, not a personality cult. He had trained leaders. He had built culture. He had created a way of thinking that outlived his own heartbeat. Leadership passed seamlessly to his son, Rob Walton, who didn't try to replace his father, only to protect what he built. The message was clear. Stay humble. Keep prices low. Serve the people. Keep learning. In 1992, the year Sam died, Walmart's revenue hit $43 billion. By the end of the decade, that number would more than triple. By 2002, it would surpass $150 billion, making Walmart not just America's biggest retailer, but the largest company in the world. And through it all, the pickup truck, the simple clothes, and the small-town values remained symbols of something timeless. That greatness doesn't come from where you start. It comes from how much you care. The year was 1992. Sam Walton was gone, but his creation, his movement, was just getting started. The question hanging in the air was simple, but terrifying. Could Walmart survive without the man who built it? The answer came fast and loud. By the mid-1990s, Walmart wasn't just surviving. It was dominating. Stores were multiplying across states, then across borders. Every morning, trucks roared down highways, loaded with goods priced so low that competitors could only watch and whisper. Walmart's annual revenue shot past $100 billion, then $150 billion faster than anyone believed possible. And yet, the mission hadn't changed. Low prices. Every day. For everyone. But the world was changing, and Walmart would have to change with it, or die. The machine evolves. In the years after Sam's death, Walmart refined what he had started. The systems, the real secret to his success, became smarter, faster, almost alive. Every time a cashier scanned a barcode, the data was transmitted instantly to company headquarters. If a shelf in Ohio ran out of baby diapers, the nearest warehouse knew it within seconds. Trucks rolled out before the shelf even looked empty. Walmart had turned logistics into art. Its supply chain became so efficient that even the U.S. military studied it to improve their own operations. This wasn't just retail. This was information warfare, fought not with weapons, but with timing, precision, and data. "We don't guess what customers want," a Walmart manager once said. "We know." And that knowledge was power. A new world, global and growing. The late 1990s and early 2000s brought a new kind of challenge: globalization. Walmart wasn't just an American icon anymore. It was becoming a worldwide force. It expanded into Mexico, Canada, the United Kingdom, China, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and India. But Walmart didn't bulldoze local cultures. It learned from them. In Mexico, it partnered with local businesses. In China, it worked with domestic suppliers. In the UK, it bought an existing supermarket chain, Asda, and adapted to British shopping habits. Walmart's success abroad wasn't about exporting America. It was about exporting efficiency and importing understanding. The rule was simple. Respect the people. Keep prices low. Listen first, act second. The digital dawn. By the year 2000, a new kind of competitor appeared, one that didn't build stores at all. Its name was Amazon. While Walmart's trucks ruled the highways, Amazon was quietly taking over the internet. Click by click, it changed how people shopped. Fast delivery, online payments, endless choice. For the first time, Walmart faced an enemy it couldn't see. But instead of resisting change, Walmart adapted. In 2000, it launched Walmart.com, planting its flag in the digital world. It built teams of coders, analysts, and dreamers, the new kind of store associates. It created an online pickup system where customers could order online and collect in-store, a bridge between the physical and digital worlds. And when the e-commerce war intensified, Walmart went all in. It invested billions in Jet.com, launched Walmart Plus, its own version of Amazon Prime, and began turning its stores into smart, tech-driven hubs, where AI tracked inventory, robots restocked shelves, and data predicted what customers would want next week. It was transformation on a colossal scale, a factory of innovation built on the bones of tradition. A company with a conscience. But Walmart's next evolution wasn't just digital, it was moral. After years of criticism for low wages and tough working conditions, Walmart began to face a truth that couldn't be ignored. It was no longer just a retailer. It was a society of 2 million people. If it wanted to lead the world in business, it had to lead in values too. So it began to change. Wages rose. The company raised its minimum pay across the U.S. Education expanded. Walmart partnered with universities to help employees earn degrees while working, often paying most of the tuition. Sustainability became real. It reduced plastic waste, invested in renewable energy, and worked directly with farmers to create greener supply chains. The company that once measured success in savings now began to measure it in impact. The test of the century. Then came 2020. The world shut down. The COVID-19 pandemic froze cities, emptied shelves, and filled hospitals. But Walmart couldn't close. It sold food, it sold medicine, it sold hope. In those months of chaos, Walmart became a lifeline. It stayed open, risking everything to serve millions. It installed safety shields, gave bonuses to employees, delivered groceries to the elderly, and turned its parking lots into vaccination centers. When the world panicked, Walmart didn't flinch. It stood up, just as Sam Walton would have wanted. A new kind of giant. Today, Walmart isn't just a retail chain, it's an ecosystem, part tech company, part logistics empire, part community backbone. It operates in over 25 countries, employs more than 2.3 million people, and serves hundreds of millions of customers every week. It's bigger than some governments. And yet, at its heart, it still runs on the same simple rule born in a small town in Arkansas. Help people live better. Legacy upgraded. Sam Walton's dream didn't die. It evolved, it adapted, it digitized. But the soul remained the same, humble, hardworking, and human. Because in the end, Walmart's story isn't about trucks, satellites, or algorithms. It's about a belief that greatness is built one small act of service at a time. From the dusty roads of Kingfisher, Oklahoma, to the glowing screens of a digital age, the spirit of one man still whispers through every aisle, every checkout, every smile. You don't need to be born rich to change the world. You just need a pickup truck, a plan, and a reason that matters. Walk into any Walmart today, in Mexico City, Toronto, London, Shanghai, or a small town in Kansas, and you'll see the same thing. Families shopping together, Shelves filled with everything from cereal to smartphones. A cashier greeting someone with a tired smile that still feels sincere. It looks ordinary, but behind that ordinariness is something extraordinary. A dream that began with one man, one truck, and one unshakable belief. Help people save money. Help them live better. That's not a slogan. It's a way of life, a philosophy that outlived its founder and reshaped the modern world. The store that became a symbol. Decades after Sam Walton's death, Walmart stands as more than a company. It's a mirror of the human spirit, a reminder that vision, discipline, and humility can still conquer the impossible. In 2018, Walmart crossed $500 billion in annual sales, the first company in history to reach that number. $500 billion in a single year, more than most countries produce. It employs over 2.3 million people. It serves hundreds of millions of customers every week. And yet, inside its headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas, the same mantra still hangs on the wall. The customer is the boss. But success brings responsibility. As Walmart grew, so did the questions. Can a company this big still care about people? Can it still serve, not rule? Can it still remember where it came from? Those questions became the heartbeat of Walmart's next chapter. Not about growth, but about conscience. The transformation of a titan. In recent years, Walmart has tried to redefine what power means. It isn't just opening stores, it's opening opportunities. It's helping workers earn college degrees. It's cutting carbon emissions, investing in renewable energy, reducing waste. It's using technology not just to sell faster, but to serve smarter. Using AI to predict demand, drones to deliver medicine, data to feed communities efficiently. The same engine that once moved products now moves purpose. Because Sam's idea that business should make life better still drives every decision. And in a world obsessed with profit, that makes Walmart not just a giant, but a guardian of its founder's humanity. The heart in the machine. Of course, it isn't perfect. No empire is. There are still strikes, protests, debates about wages and fairness. But even through that noise, one thing remains clear. Walmart listens. It changes. It evolves. It learns. Because Sam built it that way. He used to say, "The moment you stop learning is the moment you start dying." And Walmart, like its founder, refuses to die. It keeps moving, one improvement at a time. The return to Bentonville. If you ever visit Bentonville today, you can still find the small Waltons 5 and 10 on the corner of the square. It's now a museum, a time capsule of humble beginnings. Inside, you'll see Sam's old desk, simple, wooden, scratched from decades of work, his handwritten notes, photos of his loyal dog, and his old pickup truck, the same one he used to drive between stores when Walmart was just an idea. Tourists stand there in silence. Some smile, some tear up. Because it's in that small, creaky room that you realize something powerful. Everything that became a global empire started right there. No privilege, no investors, just a man who believed that greatness doesn't come from taking, but from giving. The real success. Sam Walton didn't just build a business, he built a belief system. A belief that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. Simplicity can be more powerful than luxury. A smile and a fair price can change someone's day, and maybe their life. True wealth isn't what you keep, it's what you give back. And that's why, even today, decades after his passing, Walmart isn't remembered as a corporation. It's remembered as a movement of service, a living reminder that one person, with vision, humility, and relentless drive can leave fingerprints on the world that never fade. The final lesson. If Sam Walton could speak to the next generation of dreamers, he'd probably say something like this. Don't wait to be rich to make a difference. Start where you are. Work hard. Care deeply. Build something that outlives you. And when you finally succeed, stay humble enough to sweep your own floors. Because in the end, the real success of Walmart isn't measured in billions of dollars or millions of stores. It's measured in every person who feels a little more dignity, because life got just a little more affordable. That was Sam's dream. And it still lives. In every receipt, every smiling associate, every small-town family loading groceries into their car under the blue Walmart sign. Epilogue. The man from Kingfisher, Oklahoma, proved something the world needed to hear. You don't need wealth to make history. You need purpose. You don't need power to change lives. You need heart. And sometimes, all it takes to start a revolution is a pickup truck, a notebook full of ideas, and a belief that helping people live better is the greatest business plan ever written.